Hi, welcome back. Today is going to be Flosstube number 8. So this is going to encapsulate about the last 3 weeks of what I've been stitching on and what I've been doing as far as stitchy related things. And so we're going to do a little bit more of a catch up because I did have a friend visit last week and we did a lot of stitchy stuff together, but I didn't film last week. So hi, welcome, how are you? I hope you've been having a super great week. I have been stitching on lots of fun projects and doing lots of stitchy things, so I'm excited to share that with you. I'm gonna let you know like kind of what I've been up to, and then we're going to talk about whips, and I have a little tiny bit of haul, and then we'll talk about what my plans are. So over the last 3 weeks, that third week of since the last time you saw me on Flosstube, my friend Heidi, which I talk about on this channel because we both love nail polish and we both love cross stitch, she actually came out to visit me. So we together went to some stitchy stores, and did we do a lot of stitching? We didn't do a lot of stitching, Heidi, but we did hang out, and she made a custom nail polish besides the stitchy things that we did, and we just had a lot of fun, and I got to meet her husband and her kiddo, and that was delightful. So if you are familiar with Zibby she swatches for me, that's Heidi. So when I talk about Heidi, that's who I'm talking about. And we had a lot of fun. We went up to Shepherd's Bush again. Before that, we went to a stitchy store. It's not so much a shop where you could go and shop from. It's more a place I've shopped from online, and Heidi and I went and visited her warehouse and we shopped there. We got some fabric, and I'm talking about Stitchery Express. So mostly the shopping that I do from that shop is online, and so I've shopped a lot of floss and patterns there before. So but we did actually get to go shop through what she had in hand, which was a lot of stuff, and we were able to pick up some fabric, and we just had a great time looking through like tons and tons and tons of cross stitch patterns, and tons of fabric. So then we went up to Shepherd's Bush and looked around there. I did just a little bit of shopping at both of those locations, and then for the rest of the week it was mostly hanging out, eating food, our kids all playing together, doing things like that. So we had such a great time. I have my family reunion is finally 2 weeks away, you guys. So these next 2 weeks, I'll probably be stitching a little bit, but I'm going to be prepping for that. So it might actually be another 3-week wait before my next floss tube as well. The end of the summer is turning out to be the busiest part of the summer, and so I have a lot of fun stuff planned with family as well. So that's kind of what I've been up to the last few weeks. And now I want to talk to you about whips. So I think I worked on maybe 4 or 5 different things. I actually forgot to show you last time that I had been working on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow a little bit the time before. So I have a lot of progress done on one block of Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, which I'm going to share with you first. So let me show you my progress. All right, here's where I am on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I am stitching this on, I believe this is a 36 count. Oh yeah, I have it right here. This is a 40 count Newcastle. It says Zweigart 40 count. Anyway, I am really loving this. I learned from this pattern and design that I really like stitching on 40 count. This is also 1/2. Which is why you can see this like one single thread here, because I guess that's where I stopped. I have been very much enjoying this pattern. It's really delightful to stitch on. The colors are actually a little bit more vibrant in like once you get into it, a little bit more so than they look here. For example, like the blues and stuff in here look very gray. I don't know, and you actually have more like teal. It's a teal vibe. So I'm really liking this. This was hard to put down. A very different feel to stitching this in comparison to like my spring montage, because you pick a color and you stick with it for like 4 or 5 threads, you know, whereas spring montage is like all confetti, and that's what I've been working on a lot lately. So really, really loving this. This project is going to take me actual forever, which is like the theme with all of my projects that I've been loving lately. But I'm really excited that I started with this square and loving it. So as always, I'll put all of the links down below if you want to go look at the patterns I'm stitching. I've still been working on my spring montage. All of the patterns and where you can go to get them will be in the description bar below if you're interested in stitching on any of the things that I'm stitching on. So here's my progress on spring montage. Remember, this is the one that I'm experimenting with the diamond or diagonal, I always want to call it diamond painting, diagonal parking method, and it's been quite enjoyable. Tons and tons of confetti stitching, totally different than the rest of the kinds of stitching that I'm doing right now, but also very enjoyable. So let's take a look at that. All right, so like I mentioned, my spring montage piece, you have seen this on some previous Flosstubes, and this is how far I've gotten. So I think that I am like one full diagonal farther along. So I just finished up down here last night, finishing that straight line there, and it's just so, it's very, very pleasing to my sensibilities to have everything like line up like that. That's really, really nice. So I'm very much enjoying this. This is also the only, no, this and the next one I'm going to show you, I'm using a pattern. It's called Markup Express, I think. And there's like a free trial to it if you want to try it. Let me show you what it looks like on my, it's right down there, the bottom one next to Joanne. That's what it looks like if you want to search for it. Markup R-XP. And that's helping me a lot to keep track of this pattern because it's so big, and the format that I'm stitching in, it's just really hard to, like, I constantly have to mark what I've done. So, in fact, I'll show you that app in just a second. But so this is where I'm at. A lot of stitching still in these like honey colors. That will be pretty much the whole thing because the whole background is like that. But then you get all these like fun little spots of, you know, some dark purples and browns and greens. So many yummy greens in here. So really, really loving this pattern if you can't tell with how much I've worked on it compared to some other things. So yes, I'm just really excited about this one. Link will be in the description. Oh, my only thing is I think that I measured myself too much space here. I think that I gave myself like almost 6 inches on the top when I meant to do 3. And so I'm a little nervous about when I get to the bottom of this fabric and I might not have enough room. So I'm a little, I know it's really silly of me to like keep stitching on something that I might not be able to finish in entirety. But if I get to the bottom, I might just like fudge it a little bit and I don't know, and finish it off. So I mean, as you can see, it has a border all the way around. So really, technically, if I got to the bottom and I wanted to just cut it off, like this is cut off, you know, starkly like that. So I could just cut mine off and put the border in. So I'm not too stressed about it, but you know, in the very distant future, I might need to make a decision like that. So loving, loving this piece. It's so gorgeous to stitch on. I actually started another diagonal parking stitch since the last time we saw each other, and well, at least in Flosstube, and I bought a HADE piece that stands for Heaven and Earth Designs. I will link that down below as well. This is a huge pattern, so like probably would take me a lifetime to stitch, just realistically considering all the other stuff I've stitched. But what's different about this one is I'm stitching it on 1/1 on 28 count Lugana, so it's very small, and it's the smallest piece I've ever stitched on before. I really enjoy stitching on 36 and 40 I find mostly, but I needed a really big piece of fabric and I didn't really want to do this on Ada, so I found a big piece of Lugana, but the only way it was going to work for me is if I did it over 1, and so it is teeny tiny. I'm also doing the diagonal parking, so I'll show you what I've got done, but I have to admit I'm going much slower on this project because it's not as enjoyable for me because I'm not used to how small the stitching is yet. So here is that piece. All right, so here's the Haid piece, much less interesting. I'm gonna zoom in just a second to show you closer up of what I've done here. This is the other one that I'm stitching in diamond. I always call it diamond, diagonal, and the other one that's on a square Q-snap. I usually like ring hoops for keeping my projects on. I forgot to tell you that the previous one, the summer montage, is stitched on an 18 count Aida. This one is on a 28 count Lugana. So let me zoom in so you can see. So I'm working in all of these beautiful shades of purple, blue, teal, but the work is so small. It's just not quite as enjoyable. And my floss keeps getting twisty and knotted, and that is really frustrating for me. So I definitely so the summer montage is stitched on 2/1, and this one is stitched on 1/1, and my threads I think are just like way too long, so I need to cut all my threads in half. By the way, I floss dropped over 250 colors for this pattern, so it was intense. And then to have like everything just start knotting as soon as I was stitching with it was so frustrating. So I know this is going to be really cool. I need to work on it more this week and this next 2 or 3 weeks before I have my next floss tube, and so I will. It's just not, it's a little smaller than is enjoyable for me. So in any case, yep, this is the Heaven and Earth designs that I'm working on. It's called, I think, the Grand Library. I will put the link in the box below as always. The other project that I stitched on in the last couple weeks is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs, and I got a little bit done. I would say this is a fair bit done for me, just because you guys know I'm not a fast stitcher. So I'm going to share with you what I've done on this project. So here is the 4th pattern that I've been working on the last couple weeks. This is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs, and it has all these yummy reds and gray blues and yummy greens. So this is the only one this week that you're watching me stitch on that has no, that's not true. I was gonna say this is the only variegated threads one, but no, that's not true. The first one we looked at is as well. But I'm getting some lovely variation in the color in this floss in particular, which was really pleasing. This stitch is fine. I like it fine. This is a 32 count vintage country mocha that I'm stitching it on, and I don't have a needle minder on this project, as you can see. So yeah, I'm liking this okay. Out of the four projects that I just shared, this one might not be my very fave, but I think it's going to be really pretty eventually, and I'm just hoping for a little bit more variation in the floss, for a little bit more interesting of a look. Like this roof here, it pretty much looks like there's no variation in there at all. So, you know, it is what it is, but this one is being stitched in fancy floss. So those are my 4 whips. All right, and those are all of my whips, and so I hope you enjoyed. Definitely let me know in the comments what your current favorite whip is that you are working on right now. So as for haul, I think I snagged maybe just like 1 or 2 things online, but when I was at Stitchery Express and at Shepherd's Bush, I got like 1 pattern each there and some floss, and then I'll share with you the fabrics that I got as well. So when we were at Stitcher Express, she actually had some R&R fabric, which she told us is a very exclusive fabric. I had never purchased any before, and so she offered to sell it to us there before she listed it on her store. So I guess this is an exclusive kind of brand or stitchy fabric that you can't get very easily. So unfortunately, I don't know where to link for you to go to get that piece, but the rest of the fabric that we purchased, I believe, you can find on her website a lot easier. So I'm going to share with you the pattern that I picked up, and then, oh, I also grabbed some past Halloween magazines, like for Halloween ornaments, little small pieces. I was thinking that it would be really fun for the girls to work on something from those magazines as well. So I thought those were really cute. So I'm going to share with you what I got at Stitchery Express. Okay, so for my haul, this is going to be short and sweet. At the first shop that Heidi and I went to on our little Stitchy journey, I picked up the Spring Quaker from Lila's Studio. This one is the spring version of the Halloween project that you saw me start on about a month ago. And I think it's really, really cute. I generally don't love springy motifs as much as I love like Halloween. But because I've already stitched on the other one, I know this one's going to be really fun as well. So I also kitted this one up. So I got most of these flosses already and everything when I was there. So this will be fun to start, but I don't have any like immediate plans to start this. The other things that I got while I was at that shop are a number of fabrics. So I got 4 40 count fabric flare fabrics. These are the ones that are like printed on one side and are just white on the back. I purposely picked out some that aren't that weren't very drastic patterns because I didn't want to be very limited on what I could stitch it on. This one looks actually kind of similar to a vintage country mocha. This one's called whatever that is. D'Ode. Then I have Stone. Sorry, the first one was called Pecan, silly me. Then I have Historic Green. And then this one is called Dried Petal. So these are really, really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but they're all 40 count, so I'm excited about that. Then also while I was at her shop, I snagged this, this other one that is a fabric flare, I believe, and oh, I wish I could remember what this is called. I'll ask Heidi and see if she remembers, but it has all of this really beautiful kind of modeling printed on there, because as you can see, it's just white on the back. So it's printed, it's not like hand dyed or anything. So this is also 40 count. And then we also picked up, each of us got some of this fabric. I'm trying to see if this one's also 40 count. This one might be a 36 count. But this is an R&R Fabrics. I think this one's the one that's called Mayflower. This is the really exclusive one that I guess is hard to find. I don't know. I don't like keep track of like what's very exclusive. I just am repeating back what she said. So anyway, yes. It looks very similar and feels very similar to a lot of other linens that I've stitched on, so I don't know why this one is like so exclusive and high demand, but you know, we were there, so we picked some up so we could give it a try. So that's very exciting as well. And then I let you know that I did purchase 3 Halloween magazines that she had from past years. She was just about to get in the 2022. But I didn't snag that one from her. So this is 2020, and these were the ones I was saying that I thought would have a lot of fun patterns for the girls to stitch on for Halloween, and for me too. But so there's 2020, this one is 2019. I love how it's all laid out there like that so you can see all of the designs. And then this one is 2017, so I'm missing 2021. And 2018, I guess. Anyway, she just had these sitting there, so I just snagged them. Yeah, and that was the first shop. The next shop, when we went to Shepherd's Bush, I picked up, this is the only thing that I grabbed while I was there, besides the pattern that Honor snagged, but I didn't grab that for today. My Heart Can Rest from Blackbird Designs, and they have like their own conversions in the shop, and it was so, so beautiful in the shop. I've seen lots of people haul this and just been like, oh, you know, that's okay. It looks like some other things that they've done, but in the shop their color conversions were just so lovely. So I snagged their little sheet that on the other side it has all their color conversions, and so I got the threads to do that color conversion, so I'm really excited about that. Honor also picked out a pattern at Shepherd's Bush. I don't know how much she'll actually do on it, because so far she's more interested in like learning a little bit about it and maybe starting it, but not so much the actual like sticking with it and doing it. The kids are really into their bikes right now. They've been riding bikes as much as they can in the heat, so in the early morning and in the evening, and that's just like all they want to talk about right now is bikes. So anyway, that was Shepherd's Bush. Now I'm going to share with you if I have any PDF patterns that I hauled online. I think maybe like 1 or 2, so let's look at those now. All right, so it looks like the only PDFs I purchased in the last 3 weeks, almost 4 now by the time I'm getting this edited, is this apricot lemonade from Carolyn Manning Designs. If you really love symmetrical things, you're going to love her work and her art. And this one was very purpley, so I was really, really drawn to it. And she just has a ton of stuff on there like this. And then the other one I picked up was this one because I wanted to see what black work was all about. I haven't really done any black work pieces. And of course, as you can see, I picked one that has a ton of colors. So that's going to be really fun for me too. So if you like back stitching, you will probably really like black work. So that is my haul. All right, so that is everything that I purchased in the last 3 weeks. Not too much stuff. I did pretty good. I'm mostly just excited to stitch on the items that I already have, and I'm really excited about a lot of the flosses that I have planned to use and things like that. And I have planned to kind of spruce up some patterns that have just DMC floss with some fancy floss, because specifically in, I think it's Strawberry Fields Forever, there's a lot of variegation in some of those flosses, and I just love how that looks. So that's really exciting for me. As for my plans, like I said, I do have my family reunion coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. And so typically I would film a video for you that next Sunday, but that's going to be in the middle of the reunion. So it will probably be about 3 weeks before you see what I've been stitching on, so hopefully I have lots to share with you. I've just been loving spring montage, so I know I'll be stitching more on that. I really wanted to start a Christmas project this next month and kind of get going on that. Ooh, I just sneezed. When I was at Shepherd's Bush, was it at Shepherd's Bush? Shepherd's Bush. I saw Satsuma, the Satsuma design, the Hawaii one all stitched up, and it was just so beautiful. And that's one that I had purchased, and I really want to get going on it because I want to have that as a memory of our Hawaii trip this year. So I think that in the next 3 weeks you're going to see me start that project, and hopefully my Christmas project as well. So we'll see if I get going on that. But I think that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my Flosstube, and I hope you stop back for more videos on my channel as well. If you don't know, mostly on this channel we talk about nail polish. So if you would like to see what's new in nail polish, we are starting to review the fall 2022 collections from a lot of mainstream brands right now. So I will see you back for whenever you decide to tune back in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you later.